whole section of stuff that happens around the town. I just didn't care. You know, I don't mean.
You're talking about the refugees from Lake
Yes,
Town.
yeah. Just didn't care about that part of it. But anyway, I loved it because it was epic, because it's huge, because there's huge visualization and monsters and massive mountains and things you could fall off and never be seen again. You know, it's just huge, and it's that kind of world that Tolkien sort of I pictured when I was reading these books. Now, granted, there's a lot of stuff in there that wasn't in the book, but at the same time, I think it stayed true to the story. I didn't feel it be 3 hours go by. It did. It started to feel a little long, and then the momentum started again, and it flew by. And yeah, really enjoyed it. I mean, it kept its quality of production. Script was pretty good. There was no sort of times where I sort of went, that doesn't sound right. You know, yes, I mean, CGI is there, but I never thought, oh, that looks really CGI-ish, you know.
Yeah, it never ruined scenes.
No, I mean, it fits.
Well, it's a fake world, so
it could be animated for all I
exactly,
care. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, really enjoyed it. Yeah. As I enjoyed all the other movies, but yeah, it's been a long haul though.
Should probably give a special prize for that big orc at the end for worst choice of personal weapon in a in a fight on ice.
Yeah. Very cool.
Speaking of saying goodbye, they got Billy Boyd, who you remember as Pippin from the actual Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah.
They got him out, and he wrote a song to say goodbye to Middle Earth, which plays over the credits as they roll.
I noticed that. I heard the voice, and I was saying, is that the guy that sings the song in the palace at the what's
in
that?
Return of the King, yeah. I really liked that, and I watched the music video for it, which has clips from all 6, of the movies, and that actually made me feel like nice. It genuinely made me go, oh, this is like a fitting closure.
I might have
and
to
I'm
look
very
that
glad
up.
that they did that, because if they hadn't, then I would have felt really fucking sour leaving Middle Earth for the last time.
It was great just watching it this time, because there's loads of actors that I've seen in other stuff since. You know, like
Lee Pace.
Halt and Catch Fire, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was one in particular.
And Dwarf Warrior 2.
What?
Dwarf Extra.
That isn't the Swedish Donkeys thing, is it? No? Okay. Okay, so do we have anything else to say on this?
I'm just really glad that you liked it, Steve.
Are you? Glad for me or for the
No,
movie?
like, I'm glad for you and for the movie. Like, I
It's good that you
I'm
get some
disappointed
enjoyment
that
out of your life.
Yeah, we swapped numbers.
I sound really condescending. Like, aren't you doing your
Well
best?
done.
She's such a great little trooper.
No, but like, the book is good. Tolkien was a great writer, and I'm glad to see that, you enjoyed a film that was meant to be epic, and that's how you received it.
Yeah. Sean, do you want to mark this? Start at you.
Sure. As Mark can attest, I literally fell asleep during watching this movie in the cinema.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Tell them about the cheek thing.
So a thing that I do sometimes to try and stay awake is I'll like pinch my arm or like my face or something. Obviously you can't make noise in the cinema, or I would have like just slapped myself or something. That's normal. But it was so difficult to stay awake in the movie theater that I literally gouged a line of like flesh out of my cheek without noticing, trying to keep myself awake. Didn't work.
Out of the cinema, and I was like, "What the hell happened to your face?" He was like, "Oh, I pinched myself. I was sleepy." And I was like, "I would have hit you."
Or Sean,
I didn't want to disturb anybody.
Like, if it's that bad, just take the nap. Don't self-harm.
Hey, I knew we were going to review this on the podcast at some point.
There's commitment.
And I wanted to make sure I was right about it being shit. So this thing is, and I'm only giving it this high of a mark because of how difficult it must have been to do such a large epic thing. And it was pretty on occasion. A 4 out of 10.
4.
Whoa.
Mark.
Because like me and Sean weren't too far apart in our opinions leaving the cinema, but I obviously, maybe we were a bit further apart than I thought. There's a lot of good things about this film. They didn't sway me too much. I know you liked it, Steve, and all of your reasons were valid. I think it does a lot of things well. Jesus, a 4. I'm taking it back. It's a 6 for me. I think it's above average film. You're not gonna hate yourself watching it. It's not that bad. Like it has no subtitles at all. I think there's worse films you can watch. It's above average. A 6 for me.
Mark, I needed you to give it a 7 so that when I gave it a 6, I could be like, I liked it a little bit less than Mark, but I still think it's good. So,
but you need his half marks there.
So now I'm going to agree with you, and I'll give it a 6.
6.
Yep.
Mike.
Yeah, it's a problematic movie, but I didn't find it offensive. I've watched a lot of worse tat over the year, and it's got goats and pigs. That gets it probably up to a 6 for me.
Okay, I'm going to give it an 8.
I was waiting for you to say 6 as well. Because that's happened before where you've loved something, we've hated it, but the numbers matched somehow.
No, it's an 8. Yeah, definitely for me.
Good.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. It's kind of one of those I might watch again. Yeah.
You realise that the average of our marks is 6, so I'm right.
I'm right.
Okay, so next up, let's talk about the first of our TV, our only TV, which is Mozart in the Jungle. This is described on IMDb as sex, drugs, and classical music illustrate what happens behind the curtains at the symphony can be just as captivating as what occurs on stage. This stars Malcolm McDowell, Saffron Burrows, and Gail Garcia Bernal, who's we also know from Motorcycle Diaries and E2 Mama Tambien. Yeah. Shona, did you see this?
Yeah, I really liked this.
Did you? Tell us why.
I had no idea what it was about. I hate the title.
Yeah.
So my expectations were low.
Nearly as bad as Is It a Bicycle?
I just, when people make jungle references,
like, there's no jungle.
Yeah, I assumed it was about the jungle, and that kind of wouldn't interest me. But it's about kind of, people in the classical music business is it New York? It looks like it's New York. Trying to make it. There's one woman who's kind of she's the head celloist in the symphony orchestra, and she also does like bad Broadway playing, and she meets another musician who's a bit younger, and then, they go out and like a dancer hits on them. So it's kind of like Fame set to the musical world. But surprisingly, I really liked it. I thought the music was nice, and I love Gael Garcia Bernal, and I was so happy to see him in this. Ever since I saw E2 Mama Tambien, I've just
That's a great movie, isn't it?
followed his career. He just does such great stuff.
Yeah,
he does another great movie that I cannot remember for the life of me right now, but he plays a guy living in Paris who has kind of psychological issues, and he kind of can't tell reality from kind of things that happen in his head. So he switches between English and French and a bit of Spanish because of his Mexican origin.
It's not Alberto Los Hoyos, is it?
No.
No,
I only know in English or French. Anyways, I think he's great, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does. And we're used to seeing him on the big screen, so I'm really excited to see him doing television now. There were some cliches in it, like the conductor having sex with everybody, and then the girl with no opinion who was just kind of annoying, and then tensions between people who are taking over jobs. But it looked like a great episode. It looks like it's, based around classical music. It's going to be interesting. The acting looks great. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this.
I love his character, it's Rodriguez.
Rodrigo.
He's like Rico Suave.
Yeah.
He's the epitome. Malcolm McDowell's really good in it as the guy who's pissed off and slightly jealous, or more than a bit slightly jealous. But you can't ruin this institution with all these new ideas and stuff. Yeah, but I enjoyed it too, despite my reservations.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably why I enjoyed it. It was not one of those that was built up for. Mark, what do you think of this?
This kind of took me a bit by surprise, Steve. It set me nicely in the mood for watching Whiplash, which is coming out soon. It's kind of it has some things in common, I believe, and I'm really looking forward to watching that film, because I thought for a little while that it was going to be a bit trite, but I think they handled the subject matter really well. And like, I have no idea how people who are full-time musicians and dancers and all the rest have parties. But I hope that the one we saw in this episode is how it actually goes on, because that was so cool.
With the playoff?
Yeah. And like, it just drew me in, right? Because it painted these really interesting characters in an interesting setting. And then it had them do interesting things, and it's hard to look for much more. And there was music going on in the background, good music, and from the little I know about such things, very skillfully played. And I just thought it was good. It was interesting. It's obviously very very fashionable at the minute to be into classical music, and I am just wondering if there was the crest of a wave when we first reviewed. Do you remember that Philip Seymour Hoffman film, A Late Quartet?
I do, yeah.
That seemed to be the first time in a while that we jumped into classical music in a serious way. And it seems like there's a lot of stuff coming out now that has that front and center. And I'm really happy about it. I hope there's more stuff like this. So I really enjoyed it, Steve, and I would recommend that people watch it.
Yeah, I thought you'd like it all right, yeah. Just seemed to be right up your street, especially when there's musicians and a bit of interrelationship.
Musicians and love?
Yeah. Mike, what did you think of this?
I was totally blindsided by this. Bit like Mark, I was expecting some crappy Glee effort with musicians that had fancy instruments instead of gym shorts or whatever they wear in Glee. And all of a sudden, they're making cheap sexual innuendos, and the characters aren't very nice at all. So there's something I can root for there. There's people being nasty to each other already. You know, it's
your favorite.
Yeah, yeah. It was wonderful, especially given it's a pilot. They have 28 odd minutes to impress me. And they managed to successfully set up a range of characters that I'm interested in finding out what's going to happen to these people. Your Rodrigo guy in particular made an impression on me. He's that entrance that he made. I've seen Prince Nassim Hamid do the same thing, the boxer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but behind the screen.
Yeah.
Although Hamid kind of went a bit over the top, but yeah, there was lots of little touches like that. I just thought, that's nice. I like that. Yeah.
Even the dressing down when he's called Sergeant Pepper, I thought that was great.
Yeah. It's very good.
Yeah.
It's such a brilliant comeback, actually. Wasn't it?
I loved because I'm like, calling
brilliant.
him Sergeant Pepper is great, but then he comes back, he's like, don't you have anything to say for yourself?
Yeah.
And then the silence, and you wonder, is he going to walk away and try to be pacifist about it? But no, he comes back and he puts him in his place.
Oh, it was
It was
so well
good.
done. Yeah.
It reminded me
And
of
there's
the
nothing insulting or anything. It was just pointing out the obvious. That no one else would say to him.
It reminded me of the bar scene from what's that Matt Damon Ben Affleck film? God, I forget.
Good Will Hunting?
Goodwill Hunting.
It reminded me of the bar scene in Good Will Hunting. When Matt Damon is just like, "Booyah, you're stupid."
Or Steve Martin in Roxanne.
Oh yeah, you're
the
stupid.
nose jokes.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's deeply satisfying to watch.
Yeah.
And what about the music? We know that the classical music is brilliant, obviously, but even down to like the cheesy bad musical that you see them being the
wasn't
orchestra
that just
for.
brilliant?
I loved that. Like you see that. You could just picture the musical trying to be this like sexy Greek god musical thing that's just really bad.
This is brilliant. This is a musical that the musician characters
Two of them,
are doing as a job.
Live orchestra,
the live orchestra at a musical.
For a musical.
Yeah.
And the musical's terrible, but like they show enough of it that there's obviously thought that's gone into it. And they've made a bad musical brilliantly.
Yeah. Sounds like we enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Sean, have you seen this?
I have indeed.
Oh, you have?
There's a thing called a rooting interest, and that I think a lot of marketing executives worry about when they're trying to make a show. When you pitch something to them, that they go, "Well, what's the rooting interest? Like, what do we care about? What is it that we want to happen or see happen for our characters or in this world?" And I think that it's tough to get people invested in fairly wealthy people who are fine, even if they fail. You know what I mean? Like when you are pursuing something so it's such a very privileged position to be in, to be like, right, I'm going to be a classical musician, and not only that, I'm going to be fucking amazing. That's a thing that not a lot of people even get to try to do. I thought that this didn't do that very well. I thought that I was mildly interested, but the way they introduced it, I think, was a poor choice. I think that they had a lot of better stuff in the middle and at the end than at the beginning. I think there was an editing problem. The first 5 minutes